Ashley, if you can give us the countdown, please. Okay. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all of you in today's VCM organized by WMEC on increasing role of women in leadership position. We at ICA's Women Members Empowerment Committee feel extremely happy to organize today's VCM for our women members under the theme Atmanirbhar Bharat as part of countrywide Government of India's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I'm sure all of you will agree with me that we women have been increasingly undertaking crucial roles, be it in corporate world or fighting the age-old patriarchy system at home, but somehow the leadership role remains elusive to us. It's not difficult to see that even though women are gaining requisite knowledge and qualification, but still there is dearth of women in leadership or management positions. The World Economic Forum reports that women account for just 24% of senior roles at the highest level of corporate leadership worldwide. As per the report, in India, women account for only 14% of leadership roles among India's senior officials. We all collectively need to make much more efforts to gain leadership roles in our respective fields. In today's VCM, we have learned speakers who are going to give us insights on the role and importance of women in corporate decision-making and how women CAs can contribute in leadership roles. We are fortunate to have with us CA Pechi Thangaval from Chennai and CA Ruchi Maheshwari from Delhi to enlighten and deliberate on today's topic. The moderator for our today's VCM is CA Divya Sumani from Ajmer, who is a regular faculty member for delivering lectures at GMCS and orientation programs conducted by ICAI. She is licensed CS, insolvency professional and certified concurrent auditor of banks. Over to you, madam, for taking the proceedings ahead.
Thank you so much, Shanu ma'am. Thanks for the introduction. Actually, this is a long time we have been waiting for WMEC sessions. After all the election process is over, and we know that Kemisha ma'am is back into frame, and we all want her to be the next chairperson in years to come. So without waiting any more time, let me just tell you that if you want something, ask a man. And if you want something done, ask a woman. So that is the power of a woman. So good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome the esteemed speakers of the day, CA Ruchi ma'am and CA Pechi ma'am. As you all know, this is the 75th year of independence. We are celebrating 75 years. And in that sequence, the WMEC team has organized this VCM for all of us. And the topic, as we all know, is regarding the role and importance of the women. So with the first topic, we would be starting with CA Ruchi Maheshwari ma'am. Before she takes this topic, I would like to tell you that the concept of women director and independent director was introduced through Companies Act 2013, Section 149 of the Companies Act 2013 and Companies Appointment and Qualifications of Directors Rule 2014 deals with these provisions. According to the Rule 3 of Companies Appointment and Qualification of Directors Rules 2014, every listed company or any other public company having paid up share capital of 100 crore rupees or more or turnover of 300 crore rupees or more shall appoint at least one women director. So as we know that the scope of women director is increasing day by day. However, in smaller towns and cities, it's still a rare thing to be seen. However, in the bigger cities, in the industrial areas, we can find women directors more into role play. So behind every great man, there is a great woman. Behind every great company board, there are at least two. So let me just introduce you to our speaker of the day, CA Ruchi Maheshwari ma'am, who would be taking the topic on role and importance of women as independent director and in corporate decision making. Ma'am Ruchi Maheshwari is a chartered accountant of 1997 batch with over 22 years of extensive corporate experience in the domain of banking and financial sector with Indian and MNC organizations. She has held senior leadership roles at American Express and Royal Bank of Scotland. She expertises in the fields of project financing, accounting and financial management, internal controls, Sarbanes-Oxley compliance and operational risk. She has acquired a number of process certifications like Six Sigma, IFRS, etc. during her career. She has a flair to explore on new technologies and has worked in implementation of robotics within her organization. She has also built a keen interest in blockchain and as an enthusiast spreading the awareness and knowledge on such emerging technologies. She is also conducting mentoring sections for grooming talent and also led diversity initiatives within the roles she has handled. She moved out of her corporate profile to turn into an entrepreneur and consultant. Ruchi ma'am has taken up an initiative to spread financial learning to help support people around their personal financial well-being. She strongly believes that learning is a continuous process which evolves us. So we need to keep learning and sharing. So ma'am, over to you. We would like to know more about this topic from your side. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Divya. Thanks a lot for the introduction. And I really am very happy to be on this platform because, I take a lot of pride in being a woman, and I definitely take more pride to share this with my own colleagues and, the fraternity members, the women members. So it's really a pleasure, and thanks to the Institute to have me on board today. And as you said, women are a very integral part of our whole world. If we see, we are practically an equal opportunity. From a gender diversity, if I have to speak, we are equally distributed as such, when I say males and females. But however, when we see the corporate world or we see, the organizations, we really don't see that kind of a parity. So what I'll do is, before I get into more of discussion, let me share my deck, because that will kind of flow through in terms of the topics that we do. So let me just start with this. I hope you can see the presentation that I have.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay. So I think as women, we all know that women are 2 words extra than men. That's how I call it, So we have an extra edge over men. And then what we also know that, we bring in a lot of things that are available, which actually the men don't have, but it's sometimes that we take a backseat. And that's what needs to change to really bring the parity that we've been talking about. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the next slide. And I'm sure these faces are going to mean a lot to each of you. And when I say are going to mean a lot, because all of these women have a very unique, success story. They have been inspirations for a lot women, and I think I definitely take my inspirations from each one of them. And we see such new faces coming every day, because I'm sure Leena is something that you've seen recently, and she has been another Indian woman really making mark across the world. So I think what these ladies or these women out here show us is basically, we have the power. It is just that we have to use it in the right way. And I'm sure when we read or know more about any of the successful women around us, whether it's the corporate world, whether it's the politics, whether it's the film industry, whether it's like an entrepreneur or anything like that. And I'm sure when you see Shehnaz, the reason why I had Shehnaz Hussain on this slide, the reason being is, she was the first entrepreneur or a startup when things were not even called as startups, and I have Falguni Nair also here on the slide, just to kind of say that, women have it in them. They have the instinct in them. It's just that they need time to display it. The other thing that I really feel very, very good in when I see such women is I see the power of women. I see that we have that power. And definitely, when we read about them, I get goosebumps. I'm not sure how many of you get those goosebumps, but I think those goosebumps are something that I feel are very motivational and very inspirational. So definitely women show out the power that they have. And again, that's a positive power. This is not a power to showcase or show off on things, but that's the power that they show, saying that we have it, we can do it all. We can manage the home, we can manage the office, we can manage the organizations, right? So the power really comes from it. So it proves that we are the super beings, we are the people who can actually not only create, nurture, but also transform. The other thing that really women bring to the table, and when I say to the table, is not only the intelligence. I'm sure we all are here who've studied so hard and become chartered accountants, but it's not about the knowledge, because knowledge is what everybody gets, whether it's a me. And I'm sorry that I may be sounding a little more feminist today, but I feel it's good to feel proud about the feminism that you have, because that feminism really also shows out that it's about the strength that we have. It's about the empathy that we bring. I've noticed that as a senior leader, and these are real cases that we see. When you're in office, as an example, you know you have a person who's just sitting at his desk, and maybe thinking, or maybe a little sad or disappointed. But if a male leader crosses him, I'm sure that male leader will not even look back and think that why that person is actually sad or dejected. But if a women person is just passing by, that woman could be his colleague, could be a senior leader, could be anybody. She will stop there and she will make that empathy, and she will ask that person that, what happened? Why are you so sad? What's troubling you? And that's really the difference that it makes. Because you may really not be doing anything for that person, but only giving him an ear, to listen makes that difference. That's what is the power of women. And these leaders, I'm sure, whomever we think about, and we may have, it's not necessary that you only need to have Indra Nui as your leader. Even your mom could be your leader. Even your anybody at home, your mother-in-law, your sister, anybody can be your leader or your inspiration, because you see those qualities in them. And we know that each one of us have those skills within us. And I think, as they already mentioned, that behind every successful man there is one woman. But I think for every organization there are two women. That's as per the requirements of the Companies Act, right, from a board of directors. So I think what we really want to say is that we are seeing a shift. We are seeing women moving in the senior management roles, right? If we talk, I'm just showing up a graph which shows that how women participation has increased in the senior management, but that's still not even reached a 30% as of now, if I have to talk about. But yes, I think it's good because we've moved, we've moved the needle. Yes, the needle is not where we want it to be, but at least the needle has started to move. At least people are recognizing the importance of having women, right? And now coming on to the topic is like, we do see a lot of women, and I'm talking about places where I've worked also. You definitely see a lot of women coming at an entry level, but that goes down as a funnel, and it tapers down as you grow in your management levels. And the concentration now really needs to move that how do we make that change? Okay. And we are seeing that regulations are also changing. As mentioned by Divya, she already introduced that, even the Companies Act is looking to have women members or women board of directors. So why did we want women in the board of directors, right? So what is really a board of directors? I'm just going a little slower. When I say slower, I'm just giving you a basic brief, creating that foundation, and then taking to the point that I really want to make, so that it really, hits you harder. Because till the time this whole concept is not hit hard, I think we'll not see the change, right? And people like us who are in these positions need to kind of get together and make that change. Okay. And it's an opportunity to talk about this subject. We are seeing the change. We have seen a lot of change, but still we haven't reached the aim or the goal that we wanted to. So I think it's about recognizing the change, but moving forward. Okay. So as I said, what's really a board of director? Why did we want women participation in the board of directors? Right. So the board of directors are nothing but they're the panel of people who are actually elected and represent the shareholders, right? So they are really the persons who take care of the shareholders' interests, right? They are people who kind of take care about policy management, decision making, all kind of issues whether you have to diversify, expand, whatever you need to kind of do is where the board of directors and their decision making comes in. Right, they're the most important set of people in a company, in an organization, and definitely its independence is very, very important. And what we saw was, the board of directors always was, a very male dominated section, as we call the table at the top was always male heavy. And we did not have women there to kind of talk about issues that really challenged people at the workforce, or it did not really look at things which were very important from a different perspective. You started to kind of recruit people at the ground level, but you didn't have people at the top who really thought about the gender, who thought about the inconveniences. I'm sure when you kind of know, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen the movie, the Indian Air Force movie, wherein we had the first women pilot being, recruited, and there was no women toilet, right? So that kind of issues didn't come to surface, and that's why over a period there were changes that were required to be made. So the Companies Act, the 1956 Companies Act, had no provision of an appointment of a woman in it. And that's why the 2013 Companies Act had to be modified and to bring in that kind of a requirement to be built in. Okay, so and this is just the basics, but I think this gives an idea of why we wanted women. Right. The other point came in is when a regulation is made, it becomes more like a check-in box or a tick-in box kind of a thing. And so what happened is the promoters or people at the senior level started to kind of bring in their wives, their sisters, their family members, so that they kind of filled the position of the requirement, the regulatory requirement. But did the women have any kind of a say in the decision making? No. And that did not make the difference that we really wanted to see. Because if, we didn't want women to be puppets there, right? We wanted women to have their opinion, to come up with and talk about things that were there. And that's why also came in the concept of an independent director. And that was in line, right? So the new provisions came in. They made an independent director role mandatory, right? And they made that this independence is maintained. Okay, so that's why an independent director role came in. Then came in an independent women director role. Again, the whole concept that we wanted women to have their participation. We wanted women to talk about their views. We wanted women to understand the challenges. We wanted them to have, parity in terms of the voice that they hold in. Right? We wanted women to kind of think of, think beyond personal interests. And, as it is said, when we have women on the board, definitely there is a lot of transparency that comes in. There's a lot of accountability and corporate governance that comes in. And so, many such things. And that's why this was made mandatory by the new Companies Act and the SEBI regulations that came in. So they mandated the requirement. Okay, so that's the reason and the basis. And this has really been a positive move. This has been positive because we did see that the women really were there. When I say were there, in the sense they were being educated, they were doing great roles. So I'm sure that all the organizations and institutions, if I have to say, you can say like ICAI as an example, our own institute, when I mean, or other institutes, whether it's the IIMs, IITs, or any other organization, any other institutes. They also were seeing a lot of women really passing out, right? They were making their marks. But then why were they not at the top of the institute or the organizations, right? And I'm sure you've seen that, ICICI always stands out from an India perspective, because ICICI was one of the organizations which really apparently had many women senior leaders at the top roles. And that started showing the difference. And so the role of an independent women director started to carve out. they started to play a role like any other director, right? It was not that since it's a women director, she needs to play a different role and the other directors will play differently. No, we are fighting here. Or when I say fighting, it's not really the fight, but I think what we're talking about is the gender equality. What we are saying is the woman is no less than a man to kind of stand together. So we are looking for a shoulder to shoulder sharing of responsibilities, and not really saying that you look differently when you're doing your role. And that's why a woman director was expected to play the role of looking on issues which make judgment, right? Strategy issues, performance, risk management, and all of the other things is where they kind of started getting themselves involved in. They started to kind of scrutinizing the performances, and in terms of evaluating whether we were really meeting the goals. They started to safeguard the interests of the shareholders, especially the minority shareholders, because they would always kind of get swayed away because of the other senior shareholders or the majority shareholders. So that's how the role of the independent director has been evolved, and women are really kind of taking their leaps ahead in terms of this, right? So and what's the significance, as I think I've been reiterating that over a period of time, in my conversation. But I think definitely women bring a lot of change in any role that they do. And I can talk about it myself because, I have had roles wherein I was the leader and my whole team was like all male dominated, or vice versa, wherein, I would be the only member, a female member of the team, while all my colleagues would be all male members. We've all seen those stages over the years, in the last 22 years that I've been working. I have seen that change coming over where I started into something which was more male dominated, as compared to even reaching a stage where in my last role, I especially created a whole women team, basically, because I knew that we had talent. We have talent, wherein why can't we be, looking at women really having that kind of same space? But yeah, coming back to the women director thing that we were talking about, that independent directors really play that role. And, they not only bring in gender diversity, but as we said at the start, the gender diversity that we bring at the table also helps us to focus on multiple aspects like governance, good governance, better financial results, compassion for women, compassion for the human resource, and which is the best asset of an organization, making good decisions around risk management, supporting corporate social responsibilities, because that's what we are cared to do, and also in terms of really looking at things from a different angle. As I said at the start, we don't want women to become men when they kind of become directors or independent directors. We want women to hold their genuinity and bring in their traits to the table, because they have something which is very, very, I quote this at many of my, diversity and inclusion sessions that I say, is the woman can be as humble and as timid and as soft as you want her, like, being like a mother, but she can be as fierce and as aggressive when the stage comes in. Right. So it's like, a very great example that I talk of is a woman can be, a timid rabbit, and she can be a fearless lioness also, right? She has all the capabilities in her. So that's where, the women really help in terms of supporting as women directors. And I'm sure you all know that, it's not only India who has this requirement of having at least one person as part of the board of directors and one as an independent director. There are many other countries. As an example, and I was surprised when I read a couple of these stats, is like, Iceland requires 40% of its women, 40% of its board to be women, right? Even Norway looks at 40% or higher. And Italy, it looks at around 33%. And those are the stages that we should be. While in today's time, India is only looking at one person, as an independent director, which is not really the place where we are. But yes, that's where we should be reaching. Okay, and I'm sure we've seen that growth. If we talk about in the Nifty 500 companies that we have, because of the change that came in by the Companies Act, we've seen that participation grow from a 6% to a 17%. That's like an 11% jump, which is a good jump, but are we there? No, we're not there. But yes, at least that thing is happening. How I put it is, we've started, at least we as women, we've started to recognize that we need to open this door. So that recognition was done a couple of years back. We started to open the door. We've put our foot there. It's just that we need to make that foot larger, or we need to kind of make that gap a little bit more so that we have more participation. That's how I look at it. But why do we only talk about women directors or women independent directors? Because that's something which definitely surprises me. Because women directors is only talking about women at that senior level, sitting in the board, only looking at things when they kind of convene together or do things. But what about women who are really not there at the moment, who are growing in their career? So you joined as maybe an executive, and moving up the ladder, you've reached like a mid-senior level, mid-management level, now going on to a senior management level. And that decision-making participation is also very important. And I'm sure you all will agree with me saying that, as women, we are multitaskers. And I did mention that. We take care, we are the best managers of home, right? How many families really leave things for their men to manage? No, right? It's always the women who's managing the house completely, whether it is, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sure whether I should say sorry, but I think that's a true fact which all of us agree upon. And, I feel proud about it that, we can look at everything. We can look at aged parents. We can look at, our husbands. We can look at our kids. We can look at our work. We can look at many, many such things, right? We are taking the great decisions that we want to take for our family, right? We manage the budgets for our family, right? Even today's finances in India are being managed by a lady, right? And it was a surprising change when we had Nirmala Sitharaman coming up as, the finance minister. People did have apprehensions, but they were, you will always have rumors, or you'll have always a noise when there's a change. But that change will be accepted when you make an effort to make that change, is what I say. Just sitting down and making yourself held back is not the solution. Or thinking that you can't do it, or maybe as it's normally said, women actually create their own glass ceilings. They restrict themselves, but it's just that they need to think beyond those glass ceilings. They need to think beyond, and that's where we will see the women growing. And just moving on to what we're saying, what about women in decision making? We've talked about women at the independent director roles or the company boards. We are seeing the change. We are seeing regulators making an effort doing that. But what about women in decision making? Because decisions are not only made at the board. Decisions are made in normal, day-to-day businesses of an organization. And we are seeing CEOs, CFOs, CTOs, CIOs, or maybe VPs, EDs, all the senior, whatever tags you may give, but you are seeing women coming on there, right? And I'm sure you will appreciate saying that technology or engineering was once in a time only a man's role, right? But that's changed. We have a lot of women technology officers, or women in information officers, as I say, in today's time. We are seeing a lot of women CEOs doing their own startups, and Falguni Nair is not very different. We have Clovia coming, being headed by women. We have a lot of, even in today's time, a lot of the new age, how we say, the new age startups being run by women, right? Financial stuff being run by women. Because, we always thought that women would make decisions at home, but they can't make decisions outside. But that's not really. And that's why we need women to kind of come up in the decision-making roles. We are seeing women coming up, but yes, are they sufficient? I don't think so. We can have more of them. And we need to kind of help and support women to come up to that level. What does decision making mean? Right? What does, and why do we really want women in decision making? Right? Because decision making is where we really decide. I'm sure all of us have done flow charts, and you have those, question points wherein you say, what happens next? It's a yes or a no. If it's a yes, then what? So that's where we need a woman to make that decision. And because a woman is going to take a decision, she may not only consider one or two aspects, she will consider 5 different aspects. She will consider that if this job needs to be done at a particular time and the deliverable is by a woman itself, will she be able to manage her home? We think of that. We give an extra thought. We kind of put in the empathy. We put in the kind of concern that we're looking for, because we are women. We don't want to replicate and be a man, right? I know a lot of you will say that women are not really, and I've seen that, because women really want at times to really follow a man or become a man. And that's where I say, please stop copying somebody or stop imitating somebody, because you are unique. You have your own good sets of attributes which you bring to the table. So keep it open and bring that. So what I meant was, we are bringing a change. We are having senior people at the decision making roles, but is that sufficient? And what's stopping this women to really help? And I'm sure you all know that women actually, after their studies, really very into in terms of getting into a job, setting up their own practices as chartered accountants. But then over a period of time, when they kind of take higher roles, when I say higher roles on a personal front, when they become mothers, or maybe when they have challenges at home, they kind of tend to take a back seat and let their husbands really take the front desk, which is not wrong, because we have to balance our life. We have to take the decision. But I think what I normally say is that, yes, we can actually help and balance it out and continue in our roles if we have kind of the right discussions with our people, right? And that's where it's important that even if you're taking your break or you're taking a back seat, have a focus in mind. Have a thought that when are you going to shift your angle? Set in a time frame and then come back to your own roles. Because women and talented women are there, but they are not moving forward. Okay, and that's what we're looking forward to. Okay, so if I just want to kind of give you a stats as an example, we did see that we have a lot of female CEOs coming over, but out of the Fortune 500 global companies that are there are only 37 female CEOs that we have in these organizations. So you see the kind of disparity, like the CEOs that we have are only 37 out of 500. That's like only a 7.4% or something. That's like horribly low. Is that what we're looking at? So why are we not having women? Is that women don't trust themselves? Or is it that the social pressures put the women back? It's a point to be thought. And it's a point to be thought because, see, the challenges will not be same for everyone. The solutions will not be same for everyone. But it is how you manage those challenges and you bring in the right solutions so that each individual female kind of grows forward and gets participation in the decision-making roles that they play. And as I said, decisions at every level are important, irrespective whether you're just a team leader of a small set of 5 people, you're still making decisions, right? If you're a manager of a set of only 9 people, a team, that's okay. You're still a decision maker. So whatever decision maker you are in or whatever role you are in, it's important to kind of take the step forward and go and participate as a woman. Don't hold yourself back. I have seen women actually as part of my own career wherein they would not really take in the next level, or they would not grow just because of the fact that if I grew, there will be a challenge at home, or I may not be able to give time to my children, right? Or any other such things. Whereas a guy who's really not even having the kind of, talent or experience would still jump up and say, oh, I am ready for my next level. Reason being is he knows that I have somebody at home who will take care of all my challenges and I can spend more time at home, more time at office. But why do the women take the backseat? And that's what is important for each one of us to take out from our heads. We're all equal, right? In today's world, when we are studying, our parents, our society treats all women in the same manner, right? Girls are given the same opportunity to kind of learn and grow. And we know that, we've heard this whole same, slang everywhere where the government is promoting as Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, because if, and that's a very good saying that we all know, is that if you educate a woman, really, you actually educating the whole society, because the mother or the lady at home is going to bring that change for the whole family, right? So having educated women across is important. Yes, you may take a backseat at times, but don't leave your desires. If you have the flair in you, please bring out that flair. That's important, right? And what really what really does gender equality mean? We all know, and I've been kind of talking about it over, in my whole session today, that, women are really underrepresented in the decision-making positions across the world. And it's not only India, it's across the world. Yes, the percentages may differ. The percentages may be different when we are talking about a more developed country versus a developing country and an underdeveloped country. Right. And I'm sure a lot of countries really have the whole, their whole parliament is a women parliament, right? That's where countries have reached, because they understand the whole power of a woman, right? Even I think it's acknowledged across that, the women participation brings in a lot of growth and stability in the overall economic patterns that are there, right? We do see a lot of change coming up for women. But yes, I think what really needs to also happen is we need to see men really taking up their, roles. When I say taking up their roles, in the sense, in terms of sharing the load with their, women partners. When I say partners, it could be their sisters, it could be their mothers, it could be their wives, anybody. A woman can't. A woman does a lot of multitasking, and definitely, at times, I definitely feel, women are like the goddesses with multiple hands, because definitely they do everything possible. And I'm sure a lot of you who are sitting here will kind of recognize that while you are into a meeting, I'm sure your mind is still running on the, and seeing the clock, that what time is my child supposed to go for a tuition, or what time is it going to come back, or what time is my husband expected to get his tea, and various other things. You are keeping that in mind, and you will, kind of be completing those responsibilities. But it's just that, are you really giving your time, yourself into this? Because the women, even if they're making decisions for their families, they're not leaving their roles as a corporate woman. And that's why that decision making really actually helps, because and I'm kind of repeating myself here, because a decision made by a woman is more holistically analyzed as compared to a man making a decision. And I'm sure this has been acknowledged by a lot of surveys that have been done, a lot of reports being issued by McKinsey or the others that are doing, and they make that difference. Women really make that difference. What we really need to do is we need to start working on bridging the gender equality gap that we have. We all talk about gender equality. And again, when I say gender equality, because in today's time, what happens is we have a lot of roles that are being earmarked as, having a women person here because we want to bring in gender diversity. So at times, as we say, at a senior level, there are a lot many organizations who want at least, 25% at a level need to be women members, right? And that's why when they kind of go hunting, they kind of go looking for women with that talent. And then, men start complaining is, oh, this is not the right way because you're kind of, being favored to a female. But I think what's important is, it's to recognize that a woman is really at times very shy. As I said, she may be competent, she has the talent, but she's not really coming out because she's being stopped or she's being held back because of her own apprehensions or because of a challenge that her family may suffer. And that's what needs to be broken. That's what needs to be shattered. And we can all do it. It's not that nobody's stopping us. And that decision making is very, very important, right? And we all know, that we have that human touch where if we can make our families work, we can, kind of adjust with a lot of new people, post marriage. Why can't we adjust with people at office, right? We are great at building relationships. We have an attention to detail. We look at things not only from the first side, but we also look at from both sides of the coin, right? And we are seeing that kind of a change happening. So why not kind of get people's attention on these, right? So having earmarked positions is not wrong, as I say, and it's not to, I'll just quote an incident here. One of my friends recently got to a role, as a senior risk manager, a head of risk for an organization. And that was an earmarked position for a female. And when she got that role, she was very happy. But one of the, colleagues, when she joined office, really mentioned, oh, it was, it was just an earmarked role. And that's why you got it. And she was like really a little bit angry. But I think then we kind of helped her understand, saying that it's okay, people will say things, but it's just that your talent will showcase why you are important for this role. It's not that an organization will fill up any role with any female just if they've not got the right talent. They will look for the right talent and then fill it. So don't feel bad or don't feel, don't feel let down if somebody's putting you down, because, if you don't stand up for yourself, nobody's going to stand up for you. That's how I think, right? So therefore, if you have to push for gender equality, feel proud of it, and take this, as I say, every drop counts. Same thing. Even if I take up a role which is actually helping me increase gender equality, I'll be happy to do that, because at least I'm moving the needle a little bit. I am making the change that's required for the economy, that's required for the world change that's there. So why not? I have the talent, right? I am capable to do it. So why do I stop myself? I need to go for it, right? So that's what I would like to say, is that there are things that are happening around. We are seeing a growth. We are seeing, it's like, everything's going positive. The wave is there, people are looking. So there are people to support you if you want to do it. There is the society there to support you. There is the regulations that are there to support women to kind of grow. So then why are you stopping yourself? Go forward, go with the flow, and take up those roles that you're looking forward to, right? So if I talk about the roadmap, yes, there is a lot bigger roadmap that's there, right? As I said at the start, we are not where we want to be, but we are shifting. So follow the road, go forward in the road. We are seeing presence of women, but is that complete? No, there is not, right? We are seeing, a shift in the society, but that shift is not complete. We need that shift to happen more. And definitely a very, very important point that I've really, wanted to mention is about the mentoring, right? Women, because they are into, into so many things, sometimes really do not have mentors or do not get into mentorship programs. The reason being is they feel that is going to take more time of theirs, and that's why they will not be able to focus on a couple of things. Just to save time, they kind of take it back. But I think mentorship programs really help a lot because they groom you in much more, you know, uh, holistic manner. They kind of develop you from a strategic angle. They bring out what's really required in the corporate ladder. They kind of inculcate in you the value, the beliefs that you actually had, but you were never able to kind of bring that out. So mentorship is really, really important. That should be taken up. And feel free to reach out to people, to network. Don't put yourself in that smaller, what I say is like, don't create a well around you, or don't limit yourself. Go far and wide, right? Connect with people as much as you can, because you learn from each of things. And I think I believe in that learning is a continuous process. Even if we learn a bit every day, we will change a lot over a period, right? Again, as we said, we have a lot of opportunities. Again, as I said, holistically, we are around 50-50 male female, but when we see the corporate side, we're just 30% or not even 30% at a senior level. So, which means we have a large gap of around 20-25%. So, why not take advantage? Why not go forward and aim for such things? Nobody's going to stop you, right? And also, don't stop yourself. Voice out. Because when you are going to voice it out, there are people who will understand you, who will understand what's your viewpoint, and there will be change that will come over, right? And definitely, as have your inspirations, is what I say. There are n number of women out there who can inspire you. If you start just googling around and just finding women who've actually become entrepreneurs in the pandemic, you will really see a large number. A lot of women, maybe because of the conditions or because of getting time and the others, a lot of women have started to really become entrepreneurs even in the pandemic, because they found out their talents of either painting, writing, cooking, baking, and all of that. And a lot of them have actually made that as their own earning models, is what I would say. And they are really the inspirations. I'm sure you've heard also about a woman at the age of 80, 85 plus started to make Indian sweets, right? And she started to kind of sell them, and they're the best in today's time. She's actually exporting them also. So, you don't need to kind of stop yourself. Age is not the bar, is what I mean. If you have it in you, you can definitely take it forward. But it's just that how you tap that opportunity and make it successful for you. Again, challenges will always be there, right? There is nothing that you can easily achieve, right? As we always say, life is not a bed of roses. So, or if it's a bed of roses, it definitely comes with thorns with it. So it's easy to kind of take off the thorns if you're already prepared with it, right? So you know that if you're wearing gloves and you're touching a rose, even if there is a thorn, it may not prick you as hard as it should have, right? So take your own protections, take your own calculated moves, and take up the challenge, right? Don't create a glass ceiling, as I've been repeatedly saying, because when I mentor a lot of women, younger women talent, I see that women come with their own apprehensions. They say, I've heard those appreciations where women come up and say, how can I do it? If I do it, this is how will I react. So I said, and I kind of suggest to them and say, how do you know that you will get a reaction like this? You're just building it in your mind. So please forget it, go up and start having the conversation with the people in your lives that matter to you, that you want to do something like that. And you see that they will really actually come up and support you. Okay. There is a lot of demand that's available, right? But the supply is not there. When I say demand is there, is in the sense definitely organizations are looking for women talent. Organizations are looking for women to kind of come up and take their seats. But it's just that, women are not going forward because they're kind of stepping themselves back. But what we need to do is we need to close this gap. We need to work much better in the whole perspective. And that's where I want each of you to kind of actually go forward, understand that how changes are happening, right? And I think I'm very passionate about women growth. You can connect with me if you want on my email or my LinkedIn. If you want to kind of consult on any of these aspects, I'll be happy to kind of support my women members to kind of take the forward steps that they want, because I feel making a change even in a small person's life will have a major impact. As I already mentioned, even if I'm able to shift the needle 0.001%, still I've made a change, right? And that change is important. So please go forward, take your moves, and we'll be happy to kind of have women there in their roles. So that's it for me. Any questions that you would have, or Divya, we're going to take the questions at the last?
We can take questions at the end.
Okay, sure. I'm fine. So I think that's it for me. And thanks a lot. I hope that was quite clear. And really, thanks again for the opportunity that you I had from the institute.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for the inspiring session at this afternoon. Actually, I think all of us need some kind of inspiration time by time. So we just keep on our heels and move further. And in your session, you have perfectly communicated the idea that believe in yourself. You have in it. You have that capacity in yourself. We all have it, and it's just a step we have to take forward. And the challenges would be there, no doubt. But I think you will always be there to help us out. And I forgot to mention earlier, ma'am. Ruchi ma'am is a founder CEO at RPMG Risk Consulting. Sorry to.
No issues. That's fine.
Thank you so much for the session, ma'am. Next, I would like to invite CA Pechi Thangwal, ma'am, on the topic how women CAs can contribute to leadership roles. Let me first introduce you. CA Pechi, ma'am, has. Okay, am I audible? I think I missed something. CA Pechi, ma'am, passed her BCom from Madurai Kamaraj University in 2000-2001 with 75% marks, being the first rank holder. And she is also recognized as the best outgoing student of the college. She qualified chartered accountancy in the year 2007. Then recently she has qualified as insolvency professional as well. She is also a qualified lawyer. So we have a very qualified persona with us. She is a resource person in ICI for direct taxation, and she has taken various seminars in CA sessions. She is also a faculty in ICI Chennai for orientation program, GMCS, and direct taxation. She has received a Lifetime Achiever Award for social contribution from NMCT Kovai. She is a senior partner in Pechi and Associates, chartered accountant in Chennai. She has also worked as a manager for 4 to 5 years in Deloitte, Chennai. She has been invited various times as a chief guest to deliver motivational speeches to students in various colleges and schools. She has received successful Chartered Accountant Award from Padma Shri CATN Manoharan Sir, who was the past president of ICI. She is also recognized with High Achievement Award from the college wherein she studied in Madurai. Her profile has been published in the Hindu newspaper as Achieved Woman on 6 November 2007 in Chennai and in various in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, held at Nagpur in 2004. Ma'am, I'm really, surprised to see all these achievements, and we really look forward to hear from you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. A small help, I can't share my PPT. Can anyone give the permission?
Yeah, the technical.
The permission has been not granted.
Shanu ma'am, are you taking that?
Mr. Ayaz, support team, if you can just help her out.
Okay. No, it's not coming. It's showing that something else. It's not coming.
Ma'am, just try one more time if you are able to do that now.
When I share screen, it is coming. Who can share? Who can start sharing? Like that only. It is. Okay, you have made me co-host, but I don't know why. Because in the beginning, my PPT is shareable. When I'm trying to share the screen, it is asking who can share, only host or all participants. I am saying only host or all participants, but it is not coming.
Ma'am, you can mail that to Shanu ma'am. We will actually share it for you.
Okay. It is going live, no? Shanu ma'am? Shall I send a mail?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. Tell me which mail ID.
I think by the time Pechi is just sending the email, I would just take the opportunity again. Sorry to kind of pitch in. Just
No,
take.
No problem, ma'am. You can just carry on.
Yeah.
Please share it at WMEC email ID.
Shall I send it to this mail ID, Shanuma?
WMEC@ICA.in. You will share your PPT in that email ID.
Ma'am,
Okay.
we can take 1 or 2 questions, or is the PPT visible now?
WMEC@ICA.in. I am sending.
Yes, that's okay. And in the meanwhile, we can take a few questions. Ruchi ma'am, if
Yeah,
that's
sure,
okay with
I'm
you?
fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Ma'am, we have a question from the audience. As a leader, how do we move forward when everyone is telling us that our idea won't work? How should we take that?
So if the idea, to not really, and I'm talking more from my personal experience, is like, if you believe in your idea, you need to kind of trust on it and try it out. If you think that your idea is workable as a solution, if it's a project as an example, or it's a startup as an example, you will need to invest your time, your effort, and show that out. So maybe parallelly, if you've got 2 solutions as an example, and I've noticed this personally also, sometimes in a project you're doing solution, and somebody's saying, no, this solution will not work, let's go with the other solution. So okay, if the organization wants you to go with solution 2, let's go with solution 2. But since you had solution 1, parallelly, it may take extra time, but do your solution 1 also, if it's an organization. But if it's a startup as an example, and you believe in an idea and you want to take it forward, so please invest in it, believe in it, do more research to understand why the other person is saying it's not going to work. Have that conversation with the person saying that what makes you think, so whatever apprehensions the other person is bringing out to you, please work on them, try and see what's the solution. Have you capped it on, right? So something like a risk management that we do. So understand the risks in that solution and try and work on those risks and put in the right controls so that you can work upon it. But yes, no idea is a bad idea till you've tried it yourself. And that's what I would mention, Divya.
I hope that PPT is received, ma'am.
Shanu ma'am, are you there?
I have sent it and it is sent. Oh my God. Okay, ma'am. You carry on with another question.
Okay. Ruchi ma'am, another question for you. What are the barriers to women's participation in leadership?
I think the first biggest barrier, I think it's the women themselves, because we create a glass ceiling. And I've been repeatedly saying that because that's what I have observed when I kind of, mentor women also at mid-management level. That's one of the barriers. But I think other than that, on a personal side, that I feel it's always the family that becomes one of the barriers. The other barrier that's normally seen is, giving that extra time, because, we feel that we will need to be given, we will need to contribute more. So these are some, but organizational wise, there are no barriers, because organizations treat all their employees in the same manner, whether it's a male or a female. It's just that the females kind of take themselves on a back seat. So, have an open mindset, give it a try maximum, and I it's not a bad to kind of say that, okay, I want to take that role, because, I'm sure we all know, while we were studying also, we never expected that we will be studying 12 to 14 hours. It's only when we got into CA, we realized that we had the potential to study 12 or 14 hours, right? And that's where the same thing, when you get into a situation, you will automatically make it successful for yourself. So there's no barrier as such. It's just our own personal apprehensions that create barriers for ourselves. So, just learn to kind of manage them.
Ma'am, just I want to know what is your view about the independent director course that is available at MCA?
So that's really a nice course, and I think there are a lot of women now being enrolled. So if you see the database, there's a lot of women that are there, which are available, and I think people who have the caliber, who have the experience and the right skill set, should definitely go and do the course and enroll themselves as independent directors.
Okay, ma'am. Now we have the PPT. So, okay, yes, ma'am. Please.
Sorry for the delay. Good afternoon to all women leaders. You might be surprising why I'm calling you all women leaders, because as a woman, we are all leaders in our family, right? And being a chartered accountant, we are all managing the financials of our client in a leading position. So before we go into the topic, let me tell you some good news. Yes, my dear lady members, a proud moment for all of us. For the first time in the history of ICI, there is a great achievement by women CAs in the Central Council. There are, next slide please. There are, for the first time, 3 Central Council members are women CA members. That is CA Kimsa Suni from CARC, CA Sri Priya Kumar from SARC, and CA Preeti Chawla from WRC. In this happiest moment, let us all celebrate their success by clapping our hands and giving boost for ourselves that, one woman has achieved. Always it's a positive energy that whenever someone achieve, we feel like, yes, my fraternity, my thing has a woman has achieved like that. We encourage ourselves. So let's move on to our topic for today's discussion. How can women CEs can contribute to leadership role? History has stood witness to the brilliance of women from time to time. If you see from Queen Elizabeth to across the people, there are many politicians. The world have often held the political scripture of firmly in their hands. Whenever needed, also India has also seen such female political figures from time to time. It's now time in our IC also we are started to having a star politician the people here they are coming up. We should be happy for that. When they told about the topic, no, I was so happy to talk about women CA leadership. The question arises when someone says leadership, the question arises, why the female leadership so important? Because if you see a recent research report, it says that growth in women-owned business has outpaced the overall increase in the new business by 1.5 times. See, my dear friends, leadership is not about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact laws in your absence. Of course, when we are not there in our family for a hour, it will make a lot of difference, right? The same way, when we are in an organization as a woman, people are making wonders in the field, and those are the days have gone, and we are all coming up with a lot of things. And if you see the qualities of a great leader have been never gender dependent. Please understand, I just want to stress on this point. The qualities of a great leader have never been gender dependent. And individual strength and personality traits make up a person's leadership attributes. Be whether it is a male or female, it is irrelevant. So when coming to the woman, she is able to make bold and wise decision as a leader, because that bold and wise decision is helped to make a team environment less authoritative and more cooperative, and bringing a family-like feel to the team. If you see, when women is there, it would be very colorful, not only in terms of looks, but in terms of the things, cheering up the team members and boosting the teamwork across the organization. And she helps in implementing a new culture within the business. Her brilliancy is excellent. She will not see in a one angle. She just used to see in various angles, because being a woman, we are multitasking, a talented personality by birth itself. We are a lovable mother, we are a lovable sister, caring a person for a friend as a friend. We play a different role, not only in the family, even in the organization. We used to call the co-team members as a brother, sister, and we used to have a family, the emotional attachment which will make them to get a work done. So let's begin with the Fortune 500. Women CEOs make up 6.4% of the Fortune 500 list in America. And the companies that have boosted a higher representation of women on their boards notably outperform the organization they don't. And in today's world, women may not always realize their potential, and once they unleashed, they have a direct route to success when they find themselves in a leadership role. Their capability and the abilities are undeniable. Yes, if you see in 2019, the proportion of women in senior management roles across the global, it grows to 29%, and still their capabilities and abilities are undeniable. In 2019, the proportion of women in senior and among the women's strongest skill, female leaders are utilizing their power to enhance the meaningful conversation with their employers, co-workers, and partners. Thus, create a lot of communication stream that creates a sense of. I want to tell you that what are all the requirements to I want to be a leader, women leadership quality. How can we take it up? There are three things are required for us. That is, first thing is confidence. Yes, of course, Ruchi was talking about believing in yourself. That is the very important. That is the first point, is confidence. We can achieve anything. First thing is we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves. Someone says something, we should not take it as it is and hurt ourselves. That is the main drawback, which is not allowing many women people to come out of the shell. We have to break the emotional cells. We should have confidence on ourselves. How to develop the confidence on myself? Three things I told you, no? Confidence, growth mindset, networking. These three things are challenges head, which is a recurring one and which is very, very important for our leadership qualities. The first thing I will take it up the confidence level. See, my dear CA fraternities, when someone says something, when some good ideas are coming, when my Ruchi ma'am was speaking, she was telling that a brilliant decision will come into your mind, but keeping in think, oh, if I say this, how the people will react, whether they will accept that, or they might feel they will give a negative feedback, and lot of potential ideas which is behind our mind has been stopped somewhere when we have due to lack of confidence. If you have confidence on yourself, you will achieve anything. For that, your mindset is very, very important. Growth in mindset is very, very important. Whatever the negative feedback is coming, just ignore it like a poison. It was told by the great man Swami Vivekananda that if some word is hurting you, just reject that word as a poison, because it is more than the poison what will cause danger to your body. Because danger to the body will be cured by medicines, but danger to the mind, it is not curable one. So we need to be very, very careful. The self-confidence, how the self-confidence will come, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself is the best way to love yourself. Of course, we are taking a lot of roles: lovable mother, lovable sister, caring mother, lovable darling to the husband, whatever. But are we loving ourselves? Are we taking time to spend for ourselves? That is always a big question mark. It's not that time for myself, it's me too. Me too should be taken care, my dear lady members, because when we take care of ourselves, the small sprouts of confidence will come into us. When we care for ourselves, it's not about a selfishness, it's about giving little bit of time for ourselves. Then that time the confidence will come. Once the confidence is coming, then slowly our mindset will grow up. It's not about I'm a traditional, old, passionate. No, it's all about we are just coming New Year. You see, we want to buy a dresses. Are we going to buy a old fashioned dress? No, we want the latest. When we go to the shop, we will ask, sir, can you please throw some latest collections? So we want the latest thing. So the latest, when the woman empowerment means, it is like just throwing all the things and coming up with a fresh mindset. That is very, very important. No one will defeat us unless otherwise we ourselves hurt. No one is there to hurt us, but we ourselves give importance for others' views, others what the people will tell. If I come up with the idea, if I come up, what they will do. These sort of things only making us to not to come out of the things. We have to just break all these shells out, and we have to fly with flying colors. So that another one is networking, which we fail, because if you see, when ma'am was telling Ruchi ma'am, I have taken many points from Ruchi ma'am because it was very interesting. Ma'am was telling that even you are listening to this thing, your mind will be seeing the watch. Is it a time for my child to come from the school? Is it time for my child to go to the tuition? these sort of things will be going on our background, right? So how a woman CAs can be networked through CPE seminars. You can meet many CAs, many women chartered accountants, many men chartered accountants. There you can network. That is the place where the leadership is seeded. So it is very, very important. We need to get networking, and we have to make ourselves time for the development, and we need to go for the classes. We need to develop ourselves. That is very, very important. See, it is usually seen that when women take on power as a leader, they are usually less encouraged and are not perceived as powerful when compared to the male counterpart. But having a female leadership in any organization, leads to a more positive environment all around. And women may not always realize how composed for achievement they are in leadership roles, but their potentials and capabilities are irrefutable. Yes. Now we are very open-minded and mindfulness, pressure handling, and we are multitasking, and very important one is we are open communication are some of the innate traits of female leaders, which make them more synchronized with their teams. This open-mindedness and mindfulness, pressure handling, multitasking, and open communication are some of the innate traits of female leaders, making their team to work together, and they are feel like secured environment like a family, and they are all enjoying their work and they work together. If you see today, many of the businesses and industries are started realizing that when women in a leadership, it not only bring important benefits, but they also irreplaceable in the office, boardroom, and at the head of the table. When women becomes leader, they bring skills, different perspectives, structural and cultural differences, which ultimately drive effective solution to the companies occupied by men. With the different perspectives and a sense of awareness, women can investigate finer details to see what is really going on underneath. See, my dear friends, all people need good mentor, yes, who can help them to progress in their career. In the areas of mentoring and guiding young employees, women leaders are identified to be a better mentor as compared to men. All people need good mentors who can help them, as I told you. So the good mentor is always our mother. See, always the first mentor of everyone is the mother. And if you see, women always do a better at taking conversation or doing work in a very effective way on a timely manner, and mostly in group they share the knowledge, they share the skill. Hey, you don't know that thing, let me tell you how to do that. That sharing of knowledge and skills are with ourselves, and always women believe that she could, so she made it. Can I have the PPT? It's not please. See, there was an opinion on workshop for women leadership, and look at the numbers, please. There was a 90% of the respondents have been telling that a team led by a female manager is best one when compared to the other things, because 59% of the currently work in a team is led by a woman. When you see, everyone is telling that, team led by a woman, it is a good thing. It is always having a positive energy in the team. Like that, we always have very good things. Please, next slide. So, my dear members, each woman would have faced many challenges. But when somebody puts you down, it is when you feel the need to rise up. I just want to never and ever come to a conclusion that I achieved a high position. Even you achieve a high position in the CEO, or you are the top of the hand. Make sure that we have not achieved anything, because when we have that cross process only we can come up in life. All women CAs, all CAs knows that becoming a chartered accountant is a very tough process, but once we become CA, we feel that we achieved, everything is done. So the same side of feel I got when I cleared through CA. Well settled. I'm qualified CA. Plus, I was working with Big Four. What else needed? Yeah, let me be very happy. Surprisingly, what happened? My South region. Council, they just want me to show as a role model to many youngsters who is coming up to take up the CA course, telling that CA is not a difficult course. Women from first graduate roadside vegetable vendor daughter has achieved the CA. Why can't you? Like that, they taken me an interview and it got published in Hindu newspaper across India. Okay. So I'm not that. I was a little happy. Okay, what else you are required? Got good name, good job. Yeah, chalo, everything is done. We are happy. But what made me to be what I am today and in future also is one criticism. I faced a criticism, but I never taken it as a criticism. I taken that as a challenge. Someone questioned me. Everyone is working hard. Everyone has come up in life with a lot of difficulties. Why this much of importance for your achievement? What you have achieved? Nothing. Yeah, more. There are people who struggled a lot. Like that, they questioned me. And that time I risen up and I had a thought process. Pechi, you have not achieved anything, my dear. There is a long way to go. So still, I feel that I have not achieved anything. Long way to go. Ever and ever, I will say that long way to go. I keep on trying myself to love my institute more, and I keep on trying to give back to my institute more, and I just taken up everything with passion. So every woman, not only in the society, even in the family, when we face challenge, we should not put ourselves down. We have to rise up. We have to rise up and show who we are. When someone is challenging us, the stone will be thrown on only on the tree which has a lot of fruit. So somebody is criticizing you, you have to tell to yourself, see, I have a lot of hidden challenges, talent inside me. That is the reason these type of criticism. Don't tell criticism. It is a challenges, opportunity. I always see the criticism, challenges as a challenge or opportunity to prove myself, and I never and never put myself down, and I always see rising up like that. Can I have the next slide, please? She believed she could, so she did it. It is about, next slide, please. It is about a 11-year-old small little girl. Her name is Mehan. What was happening, they were watching the advertisement, and in that advertisement, it is coming, this was happened during 1993, not now, 1993. When she saw the advertisement, she was very angry on the advertisement because it is a washing up liquid advertisement. In that advertisement was saying that women all over America are fighting greasy pots and plates. Like that, it was came up. This girl is asking that this was a public news advertisement in a Nick News. She was asking why it's always mom does this and mom does that. Why she wrote to the Procter and Gamble, who is the company, did this advertisement, and called them and asked to change change the odds. Why it is to be a woman all over America? You say that it is people all over America. You should not specifically tell that the cleaning job is for women. Like that, she wrote a letter at the age of 11, and also she wrote a letter to the First Lady Hillary Clinton about the same thing. And what happened, within a week, the Procter and Gamble has took the Martha's suggestion and they changed the commercials accordingly. And the advertisement came like people all over America are fighting against greasy parts and plates like that. So she's a very bold, and she never thought about that. Always we would be having the anxiety and the things to ask, but if I ask whether they will accept it or not, that sort of things will make us to cool down ourselves, and we never and ever put forth our thought process. Please, second slide. And do you know about a lady whose feet Vajpayee has touched in her feet during the award-winning ceremony? It is mind-blowing surprise that she's a Chinnapillai who never went to school. Please note this. She never went to a school, but she was instrumental in empowering over 60,000 women who were later formed into a group called Kalanjam with the help of NGO, and she has been selected for a Shri Shakti award given by the Human Resource Development Ministry. While she was receiving the award, Prime Minister was touching her feet and getting blessing. She was afraid and she was asking what is happening because she was from a very, very down to the place, and she's uneducated and she's from a village. She ever traveled out of her village. For the first time, she traveled from her village to Delhi, and in that function when this happened, he was telling that, and the person standing nearby told to the Prime Minister, sir, the Prime Minister was telling that, see, I didn't just see her as a female, but a goddess for the work which she has done. See, now across India, there are a lot of many women self-care groups has been formed, and many women entrepreneurs have been there. But the seed which is seeded by that is by this older lady who is just a lady from a village without education, but with a heart. But with the things, she turned up her entire life, and she went on to win numerous other awards for her selfless service. And next slide, please. And my dear friends, I believe women make phenomenal leaders because they are expert at making the impossible seems possible. Always people generally they will see that whether it is possible or not, but women always see that is the way. Let's move on like that. We have possible things, and sometimes on a good day they even make it look effortless, but women are pragmatic, resilient, and usually able to take the things in a right way and do the things in a correct way. And we are emotion, but we too have the emotional intelligence, and we always believe that naturally woman has a sort of leadership thing. I just want to tell you something. See, I don't have the entire data. I just took the South India data of recent elections, It's about, there are out of here, total CA members are 61,064 members. Out of that, 15,851 members are CAs, women CAs. And out of that, 4,662 women CAs have voted. It's around 29.41%. And a very pathetic one is recently qualified women CAs are 4,246 have been passed, but only voted is 1,392, very meager of around 30% only. I just want to tell you, we want to be high in achieving the marks. Women members results are good like that. But when compared to the young male voter, they have voted for 87%. But women voters, the young women are not coming up. Even I just want every woman member, we should not just keep on speaking. Yeah, leadership quality is not we are going to contest and going to be in a place. See yourself as a leader now. Leadership is an action and not a position. We have the right to select our leader. First, we have to execute that. Not only in any case, when you go for our organization work or anywhere, it's a right. You have to exercise your right. That is action is a leadership. It's not a position. When we start our action, automatically the leadership qualities will come. To wrap it up, 3 things is required for the leadership. That is confidence, which is very, very important, and growth in mindset. Of course, we want to grow in mindset to take everything in progress, and networking. Please do attend all the ICA programs when everything is going to be in a normal mode and physical thing. Yes, of course, make arrangement to take care of your family, take care of your kids, and please come with a full mindset for networking with your friends, and that will definitely fetch you a lot of things. And my humble request to all women CA members are, once qualified, enroll yourself as a member of ICA. Don't just, I passed, but why I should enroll and I got to pay. It's not about that. It's a thing that you have to enroll yourself. It's not about only I have to go for work. No, there are lot of opportunities are there in the practice, my dear women members. There are lot of opportunities are there in the practice. For the first 3 years, we have to be very patient and we have to specialize ourselves in a particular area. Then after 3 years, the growth is synonymous. We can get the good things. We can balance our life with our personal thing and official thing. We can manage very well. So I request most I want because the practicing women members are very, very meager, very low percentage. I want that to grow up. I'm so happy that before 2-3 terms there is no elected members in our ICA for CCMs or RCMs, but now happy to note 2-3 people are there here and there, and slowly we are coming into the role. That is a good thing for our ICI, and just want to tell you, see yourself as a leader in just now, and some leadership is an action and not a position. Before I wind up, I just want to tell you something very, very important. Ma'am, next slide, please. Just 2 minutes. See, saving the nature today, many lives will be saved in future. We all are studying a lot in the air pollution. Now it got at this ACI level and a very bad. Yes, please, I request each one of you to take a promise. Next slide, ma'am. One of you to take a promise to plant a trees, because it's a time to save our nature. We need to create awareness. We need to plant trees and we need to save nature. We are living in an apartment. It's not possible for us to have a big trees, but a small thing, the Tulasi plant. Next slide, please. Tulasi plant has a lot of oxygen in it, like very big trees, banyan tree, and the thing. Tulasi plant has a lot of oxygen. So I request all the women members, please have a Tulasi plant in your house. It is like we are having an oxygen cylinder in our house. It purifies the air in our house, and it's a good air purifier, and it's a very good lucky plant for our family. So whenever you give gift to your friends, give the Tulasi plant and try to spread this positiveness, because there are many factories are coming Ma'am, last slide, please. Now the very important one is O2 factory for the generation for next is very, very important, because my dear friends, when anything comes as a nature fruit, it is free of cost but 100% purity. When anything comes commercial, it is very costly, but we can't expect the purity as nature give us gifts. So let us all have take a pledge to plant as much as possible trees, and have a very good space to breathe free, fresh air for our next generation. I wish you all success. I would like to see you all in a leadership place, like taking action. And I really, my dream day is to have 100% women voters are voted in the election of ICI. That will definitely make a lot of difference, and we will be having a very great days in the coming days. Thanks for the opportunity for our Women Empowerment Committee. Thank you so much, ma'am. With this, in any clarification you can ask me. Thank you. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That was a very, very, very inspiring session, ma'am. Though there were some glitches earlier, but I would like to say that, I would like to sincerely say that listening to you, it feels that you really have a hunger to succeed. Even after so many achievements, you are still not stopping yourself. You are still on. And that is what motivates us all. So, ma'am, as you said very rightly, that you are taking challenges as an opportunity to prove yourself. So that is the take for the day, I think. And we should all take this. And thanks for calling us all leaders at the beginning of your speech. So I think that brought a smile on everyone's face, probably. So let us have the question answers round. We have a few questions, ma'am. I think we can start with the Ruchi, ma'am. Ma'am, we had already asked a few questions and there are some more to go. The next question is, what are the key steps women CAs can take to be strong leaders?
Definitely, as CAs, we have a lot of intellect, is what I would say. We are great at we're great at many subjects. It's not only about taxation or something, but we can do all the aspects, whether it's accounting, whether it's costing, whether it is taxation, whether it is risk management, audits, So in being a leader, you need two aspects. One is your technical knowledge, and the other is your leadership position or your leadership role that you do, because that's more of the human thing. And, as Pechi already said, we are all leaders in some shape or form. It's just that we have to put things together. It's just that we have to take a technical qualification to a level where we are able to manage and also add in the softer skills of, relationship building, networking, dealing with people. And that's how we become leaders. So, half of it we already acquire as part of our education. Half of it also we kind of acquire as part of our as part of our education, which is time management. We learn as part of education. We learn multitasking as part of our education when we are doing so many subjects, so many things as part of education. We also do, practical training, dealing with people, dealing with clients already as part of it. It's just that we have to put that all together as a bundle, mix that, very well, and then execute on it.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question again. I think Pechi ma'am can handle that.
Yes.
How significant is the effect of female representation on corporate governance practice?
Corporate governance practice.
Yes, ma'am. Maybe Ruchi ma'am can also add to it later on. Yeah.
Ruchi ma'am, either in corporate or corporate side, it is corporate side, we can give a lot of advisory services. Actually, I just want to tell to the members that it's not about always working towards the compliance part. When we go for this corporate side, we will be having a lot of opportunities towards advisory services, since we are not work alcoholic. When compared to the men, we are like we just want to do a little work, but we will show who we are. So for that, this corporate services would be very, very useful for them. And we need to learn a lot. We have to update ourselves with the current amendments and everything, but it is a very interesting and quietly we can make the things in a perfect way. That corporate practice is a very, very how can I say, a lot of opportunities are there. It is a gray area where we need to concentrate, because if you take corporate practitioners, only a few we can be in the numbers, we can figure it out. So for women, if you really want to show off your talent, please be concentrate on this corporate side. That will fetch you a very good return back. Am I correct,
you would like to, yeah.
Ma'am, I hope that I am correct. Ruchi, ma'am?
Yeah, if you don't mind, can you just mention the question? Reiterate your question again.
No.
How significant is the effect of female representation for good corporate governance practice?
I always believe that corporate governance is more of a culture, right? And when we talk about corporate governance, it's about integrity, it's about doing the right things, it's about various other regulatory requirements there. And as a women leader, and as I think you all know that as being women members, we are very straightforward. That's normally a women nature. A female's nature is just being very straight. Normally, and I'm really sorry to say that because I would not like to be again a feminist, but the point is very true. Is like we are very straightforward. We women are known to follow processes. We do not have actually 10 things in mind or corrupt practices. So normally women are supposed to be very straightforward, very clear in terms of their dealing, following processes. So definitely having a women leader translates the same thing in terms of corporate governance. The women will always want to follow the right process in any organization or any role that they play. They would not like to skip the role. They would not like to jump any steps. They would not like to, not be compliant to any of the regulations. And that's why a women leader actually helps in terms of enhancing corporate governance. Because, we don't like under the table transactions. We're very clear. Whatever is there is just on the face of it. We will not do anything in terms of beating around the bush, going around doing under table transactions and all of that. And that's why having a women member not only builds that culture in the organization, but also the male members, if in case they are tempted to do that, automatically have a check. And that's why it is said that, having women leadership helps in a lot of positive corporate governance. I hope, I've made the point.
Yes, ma'am. And even trust and faith is more reposed in women leaders.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So transparency, actually women believe in transparency.
Really well said by you. We are very straight away. We face to face. We want to be not in any other.
And it's very true. I'm sure all of us.
Telling that corporate governance is very, very good area where women CAs can flourish.
I'm sure if you see the stats, as you see women growing even in bureaucratic roles, like the civil services or the other roles, automatically the level of corruption has been coming down. So that clearly shows the transparency, trust, and things that women really bring in, and that's how automatically it translates into better corporate governance.
Yes.
Ma'am, I would like to ask, do you think there's any field where women are more capable than men? There's any...
See, I would say that every field women are more capable. And that's what I say. A woman is 2 letters more than a man, a man.
Okay.
Because we are...
Well said,
So I would like to add one more W to that. So it becomes wow.
Yeah. That's why. So when I translate that, I say that we always win over men. So WO is nothing but win over
Over
men.
men.
Okay, now this is
That's
very good
very well
interpretation.
defined, ma'am. I must say.
Yeah. So that answers your question. Every field we are better. It's just that we don't get into all of the fields that's required.
Ma'am, another question. How can we support women in leadership roles? So how do you support? I mean, I would put it that way. So how do you support the women?
So I think and this is what I've learned really in my organization, because I come from, as I said, American Express is a very employee friendly and diversity supportive organization. And, there was a program that we, attended as part of that role it was an international program. And that program really said is, do you remember to send the elevator down? And that's a very strong statement. And I think that's the culture we need to build. It's like, if I have reached a level, it doesn't mean that I am happy to be there and I'm not going to support down. So I need to send the same elevator through which I've come. I need to send it down so that my peers or my colleagues can come up. So end of the day, what it means is I need to extend my support. And women actually can support women. And if when women start supporting women, it will be a drastic big change that will happen. It's just that what happens is, because normally women are busy with multiple things, what happens is, once they achieve what they want, they kind of just get into their own zone and they forget to kind of do the same help down. So I think the biggest thing that we can all do is, yes, be supportive to your women talent. Be supportive to bring them up. If whatever role that you're playing, it's not necessary only at a leadership role. As I said, even if you're an executive, you have a friend who's also looking for a job and your company is really looking to hire somebody, why not refer her? Why not bring her also to that table? And definitely, if you're at senior role, definitely, mentor your friends, mentor your people to kind of get them, out of it. Motivate your peers, motivate your juniors to kind of take the challenge, understand what's there. So those are things that I think if we start doing, we will be able to help the women community. I definitely do a bits and pieces of that. So yeah.
To add a point to Richie ma'am, I just want to tell one thing for women leadership is appreciate your friends. When they take a small step, no, even it is a very little one or thing, take time. Hey, yeah, come on, yeah, good. Appreciation is very, very important. Because we as a woman, we just wish to have appreciation. Once that appreciation is started, no, we will just go in a one shot and we will do the thing. So for me, one thing is appreciation and as said by Ruchi ma'am, encouragement to them that even when they have a dream, no, it's not about whether they have the qualification or in over a period of time we can develop the qualification to reach our dream. Don't discourage them and demotivate them. Just motivate them. Yeah, you can. Come on, yeah. Like that, we need to appreciate them. That is very, very important for the women leadership.
Very well said, ma'am. The last question. Do you experience resistance when you are leading men?
If you want to go, or I can go first.
Both of you. Any one of you can take, I mean.
No, ma'am.
Question is for both of you. So whoever.
Okay, so I'll start, and then maybe Paige can add on and do it. So I think being a woman, and especially if you are from a smaller town, city, so I'm sure resistance has always been there, right? Things have changed over a period, but yes, there are a lot of resistance in terms of timing, like you're not home on the right time, you can't be late, you can't be going out, you can't be doing this. So there will be a lot of resistance. I think that's the challenge. Don't look at resistance as a resistance, but look at it as a challenge. Try and find out ways which really you can do to kind of go forward, right? And that's where a lot of things that even Petri mentioned, or normally that we all know, is we need to believe in ourselves, right? We need to know what we are doing is correct. We can't be just because just जैसे बोलते हैं ना जिद में, you don't have to do things because you have a zid about it, or you just want to kind of prove your point. Don't do things to prove your point. Do it because you have a flair of it. You have a passion to do it, and definitely you will be able to overcome. Because if you just trying to prove a point, sometimes you may be wrong in it. Your decisioning, your thought process may not be going the way that you want it to go. So till the time you don't see that restriction or a hurdle as a challenge and overcome it, it will not happen. So restrictions are not showstoppers. If I have to put it, restrictions are more like speed breakers. They will just stop you for a moment, but it's up to you that how you jump back into it and get success. So it's just a way of looking at things. As I said, there are two sides of the coin. It's just knowing it well and knowing how you want to go forward.
Coming to the restrictions, I never felt like when among 100 members are there, and we are only member when I'm going, I never felt like restrictions, because they used to treat me like their own daughters or like their sisters. I used to call brother, father, like that. So I never felt like restricted things. See, even when I went for faculty training for professional ethics, no, there was a training across the South for 60 members. 59 male members. I am the only female member. But I never felt like I never seen it a restriction. I feel like a privilege. See, I will tell to them, see, you all are wearing the white shirt, but I'm the colorful one who is making the photo colorful. Like that, I take it as a privilege, and those are the days have gone, ma'am. Now, the people, the gender equality is men or women, it doesn't matter. How we take it forward, we are treated equally everywhere, and we have a very good relations of a lot of brothers, fathers, like that kind of things only. So far, I have seen, so no restriction has stopped our opportunities now.
Divya, you're on mute actually.
No, I'm not.
Sorry. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful session. And with that, we come to an end of this question and answers round. Anything else, Shanu ma'am? Any other questions?
No, we don't have any more questions.
Sorry, before you go, before we close, I would just like to kind of mention it to all my women members, who are here, and all my colleagues, that, you have the talent, you have everything in you. Just don't stop yourself, believe in yourself. And as I say, it's like things will happen if you want to make it happen, right? So go forward and don't stop yourself. आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है, तो आजादी की कोशिश करो, is what I'm saying, and then do it.
Very well said, ma'am, and thank you, Ruchi ma'am, and thank you, Pechi ma'am, for sharing your thoughts.
I just want to tell one word to all my women CA members. Never and never see anything as an obstacle or hindrance for your success. Always see the obstacle and hindrance as the opportunity to take it as a challenge and prove yourself, because that is the main reason I'm what I am today. I never seen anything coming from a very village background without much thing. Even the people pinpoint on my language skills, I never bother about that. If I could be able to convey my feelings to the other people in any language, that is more than enough. One main thing why all the ladies are not coming up is they just feel that I'm not good in my language. Am I going to speak correct? No. English, we are not going to be a poetry to make a perfect English. It just, we can, if you are able to convey your thought process to the people, then it is a very good thing. Always my mother said, believe in yourself. That is the secret for success. Really, I like this so much, Ruchi ma'am. You are keep on telling that believe in yourself. That reminded my mother's words too. So nice to be with you all. Just take everything as an opportunity and be successful in all your endeavors.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ruchi ma'am. Thank you, Pechi ma'am, for sharing your views and thoughts on this such a crucial topic on women leadership. And I'm sure our participants must have, gained some knowledge, gained some valuable inputs from your deliberations. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Divya ma'am, for moderating.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.